Girl spent $8 million on a truckload of food supplies. Then she completely cleaned out the supermarket. She wasn't prepping for doomsday. Instead, she could freely travel to an era plagued by famine. The girl was originally a live streamer. During one of her outdoor adventure streams, she spotted a mysterious light streak across the sky. To figure out where this light came from, she followed its direction and stepped into a circle. What she didn't realize was, this was a portal to the 1980s. She was instantly pulled into the sky by a golden beam. When she woke up, she found herself in a vintage house. Just then, a little girl walked in. The little girl immediately threw her arms around her and called out "sister" at the top of her lungs. She thought the child had mistaken her for someone else, but when the little girl pulled out tree roots and offered them to her as food, she suddenly remembered everything that happened last night. That's when it hit her, she really had traveled back in time, and she'd landed right in the middle of this devastating famine. A bold plan to change history instantly formed in her mind. She wanted to travel back to modern times and bring today's food to this era of starvation. Before leaving, she pulled out a chocolate bar for her little sister to ease her hunger. But her second aunt's son spotted them. Second aunt immediately snatched the chocolate away. She screamed at the two sisters for sneaking food, and demanded they hand over all the food they were hiding. The girl finally realized this was the original owner's second aunt. She was the one hoarding all the family's food supplies, leaving the two sisters to go hungry day after day. The girl lashed out, calling her a heartless witch. Second aunt flew into a rage at her words. She raised her hand to strike her, but the girl shoved her to the ground instead. The little sister noticed something different about her older sister. Second aunt sensed something was off too. She immediately started throwing a tantrum, rolling on the ground. The village chief rushed over after hearing the commotion, but second aunt accused the girl of attacking her. The village chief believed second aunt's story. He told the girl to apologize to second aunt immediately, otherwise, he'd cut off their food rations for the month. The girl immediately agreed with the village chief's suggestion, but second aunt flat out refused, because second aunt had taken all their food for herself. The little sister told the village chief everything that had been happening at home, claiming second aunt wouldn't let them eat. The village chief was furious when he heard this. He blasted second aunt for being heartless. Not only was she hoarding the sisters' food rations, she was literally trying to starve them to death. But second aunt stood her ground stubbornly, claiming she was starving herself, so why should she care about anyone else? The shouting quickly drew a crowd of villagers. The girl immediately proposed splitting their household registration. The village chief urged her to think it through carefully. If they split the household, they'd risk having no food at all. But the girl insisted on the separation, and promised she could definitely give her sister a better life. Then she demanded second aunt return their mother's bracelet. If she refused, she'd report her to the police station. Second aunt instantly backed down. She put on a fake act, claiming she was just keeping the bracelet safe for them, saying they'd definitely sell it for food money. The girl shot back that she didn't need to sell the bracelet to get food. Second aunt immediately thought the girl was talking big. Determined to keep the bracelet for herself, she challenged the girl to get 10 pounds of grain before dark. Otherwise, the bracelet would be hers. The villagers all thought it was impossible, but the girl agreed without hesitation. She said if she couldn't produce 10 pounds of grain, not only would the bracelet be second aunt's, she'd even give up their monthly food rations. But if she did bring 10 pounds of grain, not only would second aunt have to let them live in the house rent-free, second aunt would also have to kowtow and apologize to her in front of everyone. Second aunt thought the girl was totally bluffing. She immediately agreed to the girl's proposal. The girl then walked over to the teleportation portal. She prayed desperately for a way to travel back to the present. In a flash of golden light, she instantly returned to modern times. She rushed straight to the supermarket, and launched into an epic shopping spree like never before. She quickly cleared out the entire snack aisle, then loaded all the grain supplies into her truck. She knew she had to make it back to the village before dark. Soon night had fallen. Second aunt noticed the girl still hadn't returned. She figured the girl had definitely bailed. Then she spotted the little box in the young girl's arms. She immediately accused her of stealing from her family, and snatched it right out of her hands, but found only a photograph inside. The villagers all started calling her out for being paranoid, always accusing innocent people. Seeing how important the photo was to the little girl, second aunt shamelessly pulled out a contract. If she just put her thumbprint on it, she'd get the photo back immediately. The little girl flat out refused. She insisted she'd wait for her sister to return. Second aunt was certain the girl would never come back. After all, 20,000 pounds of grain was no joke, so she pressured the village chief to thumbprint the bet results. The chief wanted to buy the girl more time, but under pressure from all the villagers, he finally pressed his thumbprint on the document. He told the little girl she should accept the loss, but she firmly believed her sister would come back. Second aunt saw she was being so stubborn. She grabbed the girl's hand to force her thumbprint down. Luckily the girl fought fast and bit her, buying her sister a little more time. Second aunt was absolutely furious. She got the villagers to gang up and force the little girl's thumbprint. Just then, the girl drove back into the village with a truck full of grain.